Going back to your earlier discussion about the destination becoming the venue, I think that's what Greg was saying.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about RFPs for a moment. There's also been a lot of talk about the plethora of RFPs that go out to venues. But if the destination is truly becoming the venue, how do you think online platforms like Cvent or VenueDirectory.com can evolve their systems to include destination activities into the search fields or into their platform to make it easier for people to match the right destination with the right event?
I think we have a good example in when everyone came into the office earlier on, they walked past the Travel Technology Lab. So that's a lab, it was the first in Europe about travel tech. And we had Micebook, the online inspiration platform, are alumni of the Travel Tech Lab. And that's very much a site that you go to for inspiration, so fact-finding, what destinations can I consider. What I would say is it's very top line in terms of it's still events based, whereas we're looking at things in the key sectors a bit more. So it's still very top line, but it's a very inspirational platform. And then I think there's connections there to the bureaus for people to go through, or they use the Cvents, so many directories out there that people can access content through. But I think our role is an educational piece and being able to help, knowing where they sit in that space and working with one another and referring people to bureaus, because as much as tech is great, sometimes it's the expertise that you need of someone who lives and works in that city, knows it, understands what's possible. A lot of what we're doing sometimes is helping navigate through some of the red tape that can exist, making connections on a personal level. So it's that kind of thing that no tech platform is able to do. But then we do, for smaller events where they're perhaps not contestable, we will start to feel people back to tech platforms so that we have more time for those contestable projects.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good answer. So speaking of people and expertise, there's a trending topic right now on influencer marketing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, what's your view on what is a MICE influencer, or who is a MICE influencer? What are their characteristics?
So, I mean, I have to mention Irina, who runs the MICE blog, who's one of my dear friends in the events industry. Incredible knowledge, I think, about venues and destinations, great content on her website as well. I'm not sure as an industry we're quite there yet. I think there needs to be more people in that space, and perhaps less paid for content and less adverts until we're at a stage where we're really pushing MICE influencers. We use travel bloggers and travel influencers in some of our leisure-based work, so inviting people over to, for example, on your old style press trip, that now has 50% influencers attending and speaking about the destination.
Okay.
And I think as a MICE industry, we're quite a long way from that. I remember my first interaction with Irina over email 7 or 8 years ago, so she's been working really hard for a long time. I think she's doing an amazing job.
She's certainly persistent for sure.
Yeah.
She's a great partner for us.
Yeah.
So you bring up some interesting points about MICE influencers. I'm curious. So first of all, I think it's remarkable that 50% of your press attendees end up being this influencers, social influencers. So if MICE isn't quite there yet, what would you think a destination like London and Partners, or a bureau like London and Partners, what sort of ROI or what kind of outcome would you look for when or if you did partner with a MICE influencer?
For London, it's about international reputation. The ability to give our partners a platform. So if there's opportunities to showcase some of our partner venues, some of their thoughts and insights on that, positioning London as a world-leading destination. We tend to run ambassador programs and ambassador groups where it's really about the content of the event and matching the content of the event to the right people in the city, rather than use influencers in social media world, but they're very much influencers within their community. So I suppose we're kind of coming at it from a slightly different approach.
Would you call those micro-influencers then?
So we call them ambassadors in their sector.
Yep.
So thought leaders who might not necessarily be based in London, they might have gone stateside and be championing their business overseas, but are really passionate about the community and London as a destination. So we use them, and I suppose what we do is help them get the message out there. So we'll give them toolkits and we'll give them things that they can have an influence online, but they're still in a comfortable space, if that makes sense.
And are these ambassadors paid ambassadors, or are they?
No.
No. Okay.
These are people who are truly passionate about the tech sector. So for London Tech Week, there's an ambassador programme. We're very selective with the people that we go out to. So we're looking for people with reach on social media, but with clout in a newspaper column as well. And you can't fake that passion. So if we were to pay people to do that on our behalf, it's not genuine, and within those communities you get found out. So this is about, truly banging the drum for London in whatever scene they're working in, just as some of the MICE influencers are equally as passionate about our sector and our industry, but it's just done in a slightly different way.
Do you ever see working with MICE influencers in a way where they are actually paid?
Yes, possibly.
Care to elaborate?
I think, was it Blanche and Switzerland and Atout France did some great campaigns. For London, I think our approach is, we have this pipeline approach where we know what business we're going after. And for us, it's about getting our sales team engaged with the event organizer, with the decision maker. So we're mapping out lots of different processes in order to do that. But for wider, more general information about London, I don't see why not.
So I have one final question for you, and it's open-ended. What do you think will have the biggest impact on how event organizers choose destinations in the future?
Okay. I have 4 or 5 answers.
Let's go. All right.
4 or 5 things, I think. So we were talking so much about tech. Tech is one of the things that's right up there for me. So how you get information to your audiences has completely changed and transformed. So I think as a destination, it's knowing your customer, it's knowing the decision maker, and how you map out and get to them effectively. And that is undoubtedly for us through tech more than ever. Other things, safety and security. We're working in a space and in a global climate now that is uncertain. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And that puts a lot of challenges on our industry. So for us, it's about being responsible, getting the message out there that London is one of the safest cities in the world. The response times to some of the incidents that we've had have been phenomenal. We're well rehearsed at these kind of major incidents, and it's about reassurance for people on a personal level, and then when they're making a decision to bring thousands of people to the city. So safety, security. I think Brexit and political uncertainty again. So snap elections, travel bans, all this kind of thing. We're just working in a world where you have to be more agile than ever before, and it's how we help our clients and help our venue partners and destination partners be more agile, get the most appropriate messaging out there at the right time. And that all comes down to data and tech and customers and customer engagement. So we're more focused on that than we've ever been before.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. I suspect we'll have a few blogs written about these answers tonight, particularly on what's going to impact the future. But thank you for tuning in. And if you weren't here tonight, you've missed out. We've had great catering from Boulevard Events and amazing views of the Thames, as I said earlier. But until next time, take care.